In the sky, gazing far into the night, I raise my hand to the fire, but it's no use, 'cause you can't stop it from shining through. It's true, baby, let the light shine through. If you believe it's true, baby, won't you let the light shine through for you. In the sky, gazing far into the night, I raise my hand to the fire, but it's no use, 'cause you can't stop it from shining through. It's true, baby, let the light shine through. If you believe it's true, baby, won't you let the light shine through for you.
Hello and welcome to round 8 of the Spec F1 Esports PS4 F2 Sprint Series. My name is Expert and I'll be your commentator for this morning's race. We're here in Budapest for the Hungarian Grand Prix. The 4.381 kilometer circuit has a total of 14 corners, 6 to the left and 8 to the right. We're going to have a quick look now at your championship standings here for the PS4 F2 Sprint Series. As you can see, Plevs leads the way currently on 298 points, I do believe. It says, hang on, let me make my screen a bit bigger, it'll be easier. 208 points rather, I should say. He's 40 points ahead of 40-22 in the Viterci team. The reserve driver F1 Amazing is still sitting in P3. He's unfortunately not racing anymore, so that ideally moves everyone up a spot. So Gasly 10 is still sitting in P4, actually P3 at the moment. He's sitting on 84 points, leading Geordie for the Sauber F1 team in P5. P6 is Crossy F1 for Viterci, leading the MP Motorsports car of Useless is a Cat. Then it will be Flying Jippo MP8 ahead of the reserve driver of Chain Game Wow, who I'm not sure if he's racing today. I'll have a look in a second, but anyway. Then it is Banana Josh for Prema, who rounds out your top 10, who are on 53 points. Dr. Dre for Campos is sitting in P11 on 43, leading the... actually, I think it's a bit hard to see, actually. Dre's on 35 points, so it's just a bit hard to see. Then it is Go01 GT in P12 ahead of Zephy in the Prema, Trident driver of Ken Tenma, the Art driver, ART driver of Suma, Spilly in P16, then it's G Kurubold 17th, 18th is Arianx, P19 is BK leading, and in top 20 will be Felipe N. Then we're going to have a quick look here at your constructor standings. It is the Vitersi team leading the way. Only 10 points between them and the Trident team, so that can easily be swapped around at any time after this Grand Prix. The Campos team is sitting in P3 at the moment. Solid job from the Orange team, leading the Dams Formula 2 team, sitting on exactly 100 points. 3 points away from the Sauber, or 3 points ahead of the Sauber Junior team. MP Motorsports teams on 92 points, sitting in P6, leading Prema, Carlin, ART, and rounding out the bottom, only on 5 points, unfortunately, is the BWT Arden team. You can see the drivers are now heading out for their qualifying session. It is a one-shot qualifying for the F2 Sprint Series. Here we are, the drivers are now heading out for their lap around the Hungaroring. So this is the painful part, because now I've got to try and swap between leader. I'm going to try and go to the top, and that's actually, I do believe that was actually Zephy that has unfortunately spun around. I'm not sure how, what's going on with timing, because I don't think everyone's spun around. Oh, a lot of people actually have spun around. Either way, anyway, we're going to try. It looks like 40's actually at the top now. He's leading BK. And this is actually too painful. I'm just going to ride on board with Plebs, who is sitting in P12 as it stands by the looks of it. I'll swap it around a bit later when he gets towards the end of the lap, because it's a bit painful with that black cutscene. Looks very tight from everyone, but it looks like Geordie is leading the way at the moment. He's got Banana Josh and Gasly going at it for P2 and 3. Still riding on board with Plebs as he's coming through the second sector. These are all fixed setups as well, so it is completely equal cars. It all comes down to the driver's skill. Heading into the final sector now does Plebs. We're going to try and go up a bit now. Hopefully that a few more people have settled. It looks like Geordie is still leading the way. It looks like Armchair, though, is moving himself up in a P2 for Arden. Geordie got a pretty bad run out of that penultimate corner, but he's going to go through the final corner now. Is Geordie opening the air, it's nice and wide. He's going to come across the line. It looks like he will take pole position here for the first race of the Hungarian Grand Prix. The 29.3 was the fastest lap time. He leads Armchair Bike ahead of Chain Game Wow in P3. Gasly 10's going to come home P4 for Dams ahead of 40 and Crossy in P5 and 6. They will round out your third row. BK and Banana Josh will be your fourth row, and then it will be Plebs, who unfortunately didn't get a very nice lap in there. He will start on the fifth row for this afternoon's, I do believe it's a feature race first. Yeah, it is a feature race first. So I'm not very good when it comes to remembering that stuff. So I'm just going to mute everyone because I can hear a few people talking. Anyway, Geordie took out pole position for the feature race ahead of Armchair Bike for the Arden team. Campos driver of Chain Game Wow, one of our reserve drivers, came home P3 ahead of the Dams driver of Gasly 10. The two Vitersi drivers of 40 and Crossy round out your third row. Then it's BK, Banana Josh, Plebs, Jippo, Gabrix, Dr. Dre, Ken Tenma, Useless is a Cat, Zephy, Tool, Cogwheel, and Big Donga, who unfortunately disqualified his lap. Same as Cogwheel will start at the rear of the grid. We're going to let the drivers now head over to the grid for the feature race. Here we go now. The drivers are heading out for the formation lap of the race Spec F1 Esports PS4 Formula 2 Sprint Series feature race. As we read out before, Geordie F1 took pole position, leading the Arden driver of Armchair Bike 47. Chain Game Wow will start from P3 on the second row of the grid. He's going to have Gasly 10 right next to him, all alongside him in P4 on the second row. Then it will be the two Viterci drivers of 40 and Crossy. Nice job there from the yellow team. Then it will be BK and Banana Josh in P7 and 8. Then it will be Plebs in P9 for Trident. And then rounding out the top 10 will be Flying Jippo. And it's the Gabrix for the Arden team, leading Dr. Dre 3000 in P12. Then it will be Ken Tenma for Trident. Useless is a Cat in P14. P15 will be Zephy for Prema. Then in P16 will be Tall Cogwheel, then Big Donga in P17. Himself and Tall Cogwheel unfortunately did disqualify or invalidate their one-shot qualifying lap, so that's why they are starting at the rear of the grid. Yeah, hopefully you don't have as many punctures, Alex, as last race. Because everyone's punctures seemed to went off at the exact same time, or go off at the exact same time, so. As you see, Geordie is now backing up the pack to get some optimum tyre temperature into the car. Guys are now heading over to the grid. Let me know in the live chat your top 3 predictions for the feature race of the Race Spec F1 Esports F2 Sprint Series at the Hungaroring for the Hungarian Grand Prix Round 8 of the championship. Let's quickly bring up the tyres. There you go. But anyway, there are your starting tyres. But now, as you can see, the light sequence is beginning for the Hungarian Grand Prix. 5 red lights. And they are underway. It looks like Geordie gets a pretty nice start there. A lot of wheel spin there from Armchair Bike. He's dropped a few positions already. He's gone down back to P4 as it stands. But that's actually a big crash there between the Prema driver. Crossy is out of the race. And that was Crossy. And I do believe, and that's now Gasly's been spun and our race leader. This is actually a bit confusing to keep up with. Who was that? That was Banana Josh and Geordie, who unfortunately got into a tangle at the rear of the grid, heading before they even got to turn 1. Unfortunately, they had made contact, but BK's moving off a few spots. So is Zephy, and there's another spin for the Carlin team. That was BK at the back, heading into turn 2. Looks like he's been hit in the right way. He may have potential front wing damage, but it's been a very messy start from the drivers so far. Ken Tenma's unfortunately gotten in a little incident there with the, the Dams driver of Tall Cogwheel. But anyway, as it stands, 40-22 leads the way now. We're going to change this up to position change. 40 leads away from P5 in this Grand Prix ahead of Dr. Dre, who has moved up 10 spots in this Grand Prix. But no, Big Donga, or I'm just going to call him Donga, has moved up 14 spots in the opening lap. The Gabrix is now into P4 for Arden, leading Gasly 10, who is in P5. I do believe he does have front wing damage, from that incident on the first lap. Plebs has now moved himself up into P6 as well, but that's now a move there for P3, I do believe that is. Big Dong has now moved himself up into P2, I should say. He's moved up 15 spots in this Grand Prix. That's a little incident there I think somebody's had. That's the Gabrix now, who unfortunately looked like he was doing very good at the opening lap of this Grand Prix. Has unfortunately dropped down heaps of positions. He's back down to P14. Banana Josh is now in the pit lane for a front wing change. But that was a very messy start there from the drivers. Yeah, it is a half sprint race basically. But 40 leads away, heading on to lap 2, ahead of Donga in 40 leads away in P1, ahead of Big Donga in P2. Then it is Dr. Dre 3000 for the Campos team in P3. The remaining top 4 will be Gasly 10. You can see that's Dr. Dre running really wide there. He'll potentially have just got warned by the FIA stewards before running out or extending the track limits. Plebs has now moved himself up into P5 ahead of Zephy for the Prema team. P7 will be Flying Jippo. Then it will be the Arden driver of Armchair Bike in P8. Then it will be Useless as a Cat in P9. Rounding out top 10 will be a BKXI for the Carlin team. Then it's Geordie, who's dropped down heaps of positions. He's back down in P11. Pole position driver. There's actually, I think, an incident ahead. It's in sector 1, so I'm going to try and go down to see what's happening. I can't see it, but anyway, here we go. Gassy 10's trying to make a move on Dr. Dre, the Campos driver, to get himself up into the podium positions. We're going to run on board with Gassy as he's going to come down the front straight now. 40's extending his lead massively. He's got just under 4.5 seconds of a gap to Big Donga. Yellow flag in sector 2. It's Banana Josh there heading into turn 5 and 6. He's unfortunately spun around. Plebs is now right on the rear of Gassy 10. Looked like Gassy 10 actually had a bit of smoke coming off the back of his car, but he's actually got Zephy up his inside now, has Plebs. But they did make wheel-to-wheel contact there. I didn't actually realise it. Zephy was up his inside, and I don't think Plebs did either, so that's unfortunately put Zephy into a half spin. Now he's dropped a few positions. There's still a yellow flag in sector 1. I think Cogwheel may have had a little incident there, but now Gassy's moved himself up into P3 ahead of Dr. Dre 3000. You can see Dr. Dre definitely seems to be struggling. Does he have a little bit of front wing damage? We're going to have a look here on the TV cam when it decides to show us. Doesn't look like he does have any visual front wing damage, but he runs really wide though. Nearly hits the wall, but that's going to give Plebs another invitation to go down the inside, and that's Dr. Dre running it wide again. He's obviously really struggling there with lockup, so now it looks like Plebs has got easily back up into P4. Well, moves himself up into P4, but now Flying Jippo's trying to make a move on the Campos driver of Dr. Dre. Will he try and hang it around the outside through the final corner? They go. Looks like Jippo's got the better traction off the corner, but Dr. Dre's going to have the DRS and slipstream heading down to turn 1, but it looks like Jippo's got the better run. Armchair's a little bit too far back to make a move on Dr. Dre. You see the oversteer there Jippo just had. Heading on to lap 4 now. 40-22 still leads the way ahead of Donga MP2 for Carlin. P3 will be Gassy 10 for Carlin. Sorry, Dams I should say. Then it'll be the Trident driver of Plebs in P4. P5 running out of top 5, but will be Flying Jippo leading Dr. Dre 3000 in P6. This is the Cat and Armchair going side by side, heading into turn 5 they go. They're going to go side by side, heading into turn 6 and 7, a little chicane here. Who's going to get the move done? We're going to ride on board here with Zephy, because he's got the best view of it. And it looks like Uses is a Cat, has moved up into P7 ahead of Armchair. So now he's going to have his eyes on the drivers ahead. Banana Josh now down in P16 with that fresh set of soft tyres. Has just set the fastest lap of the Grand Prix. 1 minute 32.3, I do believe that's it. I think Armchair's unfortunately got a bit of front wing damage here because he is understeering everywhere. It doesn't look like he doesn't have either end plates on his car. So he is definitely going to have to come in for a stop. Nearly makes contact there with Zephy. He's not giving him much room. And now that's BK and Chain Game that have unfortunately spun around, heading through the penultimate corner. Either of them have front wing damage. It looks like Chain Game has front left end plate damage, but does BK have anything? He is coming into the pits now. Is the Carlin driver, and now he has a 5-second time penalty for speeding in the pit lane. That's BK's day's gone from bad to worse, really. Forty still leads away. He's got just under a 5.5 second lead, and now Dr. Dre, as we've seen him a couple times, already run wide through turn 4. So I think he does now have a 3-second time penalty. He will have to owe at the end of the race for track extending multiple times. See now Plebs trying to get onto the rear of that Carlin car in front of him to move himself up into the podium positions. Runs a bit wide there. On exit there does Plebs. Looks like Dr. Dre is going to be passed here by Useless is a cat. He's going to try and go down the inside. He sticks his nose in there. Dr. Dre leaves him the room though. They're heading into the penultimate corner now. Dr. Dre defends the inside, but he does not have the amount of grip at the moment that Useless is a cat does by the looks of it, and he goes right around the outside. Does that number 17 car of Useless is a cat. Moves himself up into P6. He's looking very quick now. Is Useless is a cat. Ghastly 10 now goes fastest with the 32.5. Poor Dams sitting in P2 at the moment. He's trying to extend his lead, or gain, I should say, on 40, 22 in front. Flying Jippo is still right on the rear of Plebs. Plebs is going to have to get a little bit of a move on here if he wants to get himself up into P3. So Zeffy's now right on the rear of the Arden car of Armchair. Will he dive down the inside of this next right-hander? He looks like he's going to stick his nose in there. They're going to go side by side heading into turn 5. There you go. And it looks like Zeffy's going to get the move done, but he keeps it around the outside there. Does Armchair. Will he be able to hold on? He does look like he has, but he's run really wide though on the exit of the chicane. Will Zeffy get the run he needs? He's going to stick it down the inside. But it doesn't look like he was close enough, or he had enough of his car down the inside of Armchair, but he does make contact there with the Arden car. You can see Armchair really struggling here with grip compared to Zeffy. Yellow flag in sector 1. What's happening there? Now, as you can see, our race leader is in the pits. Does Ghastly come in the pits? It seems like a very early pit stop here, 4:40. He definitely was losing time to Ghastly. As you can see, Plebs is actually in the pits now, so is Donga. So could we see a potential undercut little strategy here if the Trident team gets Plebs a very quick pit stop here. He's putting on the medium competitor tires, but unfortunately he's been held. Actually, no, he's been let out though, very luckily. He does make contact there with Zeffy, or goes inside his car, I should say. As you can see, this is the gap between the two drivers battling it out for P3 here. The Carlin car, Big Donga, managed to keep his position ahead of Plebs. But now they both got fresh sets of medium tyres on. Geordie now goes fastest. I'm going to set this over to stop so we can see who's made a stop. So everyone outside of the top 7 right now, or everyone in P8 or lower, has made a pit stop, except for Crossy, who has unfortunately retired from the session. Ghastly's 10 still leads the way, but he has not made a pit stop yet. Will we see this driver in the pits this lap? We will see him in the pits. Will Flying Jippo follow him in? He did make a mistake there at the exit of the penultimate corner, so now he's going to potentially lose a little bit of time entering the pit lane. Useless is a cat's following him, but Dr. Dre goes around for another lap on that set of, he is on the medium tires as well, so he can go for a bit longer than the other drivers. Now the Gabrix is coming into the pits for the Arden team. So is Ken Tenmar for Trident. Other Campos driver of Chain Game staying out. They're both opting to go the long game through in the first stint, I should say. So the two Campos drivers will be leading the way. See, now you can see a few of the drivers are coming. Sorry, I should say 40 will be leading the way. In theory. He's got Ghastly 10 behind him still. He's actually lost a lot of time there, has 40 in the pit stops. Ghastly's got that gap down from 4.5 seconds, I do believe it was, to 2.2. Flying Jippo and Dongo going at it. He runs very deep into the corner there, does Jippo. This is the battle for P5. In theory, though, it is actually for the battle of P3 once everyone makes a stop. Still waiting on the two Camposes to make a stop, and then everyone will be back in order. So he's getting really close to the rear of Flying Jippo. There is the Carlin driver. Plebs is right there as well. So is Cat. Zeffy's got a little bit of ground he's got to try and make up if he wants to get into that little battle pack for the battle of P5. You can see it looks like Zeffy's got a better, Useless as the cat, has got a better run on Plebs. Will he dive down the inside? He definitely thought about it, but he nearly makes contact there with Plebs heading into turn 12, I do believe that is. Plebs did lock the inside front. It looked like he slightly moved under braking and then forced Useless as a cat to run wide and have to take avoiding maneuvers to not hit the rear of Plebs. The 40 now goes fastest. There's a yellow flag in sector 2. What has happened down here? That is Tall Cogwheel heading through turn 6 and the exit of turn 7, I should say. It was unfortunately spun around down in P15 for the Dams team. It is still the two cam bosses that lead the way, but they are still yet to make a pit stop. Heading to the final sector now, does 40. Catching up to the rear of Chain Game. Will we see Dr. Dre come in the pits? No, he stays out for another lap. So does Chain Game. They will be on fresh soft tyres though when it comes towards the end of the race. 9 laps remain in the Grand Prix. 40 still going fastest at the moment, but then Gasly 10 takes that lap away from him. I do believe 40 set a 32.1 by the looks of it, and then Gasly set a 31.9. So he's around 0.2 of a second quicker at the moment, but that looks like BK and the Gabrix have got into another incident. Actually, no, not BK, I should say. The Gabrix has unfortunately spun around. And look, this is Useless as the cat, Big Donga and Zephyr. It looks like Donga's actually, he has unfortunately spun around. Or he's actually lost a few positions, I should say. I think all these drivers had a little incident on the front straight, I do believe it was. I thought I saw something happen. Now Donga's unfortunately lost a few positions and he's dropped back behind Useless is a cat, Plebs and Flying Jippo. So Flying Jippo is definitely the winner out of all that. He's moved up into P5. Plebs actually gets a lot of oversteer there, heading on the exit of turn 7. Gets his car, dips his car into the dirt. But is that Chain Game now? Is unfortunately the driver that has not made a pit stop yet, Chain Game, has unfortunately had a little incident through the fast right-hander. I do believe that is turn 11. So now, unfortunately, that's going to cost him a lot of time considering he has not also made a pit stop yet. Has Chain Game. Still a yellow flag in sector 2 and 3. What's that for? It doesn't look like it. Looks like it's just a local yellow. But 40 still leads the way. He's got a 1.6 second lead ahead of Gasly 10 in P3. Flying Jeppo is still leading the way for that battle of P3 in theory. Now Useless as the cat tried to make a move on Plebs, but it looked like he... Oh, sorry about that. It looked like he ran very wide on the exit of turn 1, or ran too deep, I should say. But he looks like he's managed to get back down the inside, heading into turn 2. Now Plebs is trying to make a move, stick again through the under and over, but it looks like he unfortunately didn't have the run, but he has got this little run down the straight. Will he be able to slip his car down the inside? Doesn't look like it. Doesn't look like he has the grip compared to Useless as a cat, but now he's moved up into P6, has the Useless is a cat. I'm not too sure what car that is. I'm not going to try and guess it if I'll get it wrong. It might actually be MP Motorsports, I think it is. Will we see the Campos drivers come into the pits this lap? Doesn't look like Dr. Dre is, but we may potentially see Chain Game come in a few laps early considering he just had a little half spin there. at turn 11, and he's running very wide here. So he must be struggling with tire grip. Will he come in this lap? No, he won't. He will have to come in pretty soon because if he wants to get the maximum out of that soft compound of tires, he'll need to come in relatively soon. Gasly's now took 2/10 out of 40 that lap. Still that yellow flag in sector 3. That's actually Till Cogwheel, who has unfortunately spun around again. Heading into turn 12, or the exit of turn 12. He's still unfortunately, he's still struggling, I should say, to keep the car on track. That was Plebs there, locking up the inside fronts very slightly. Heading through turn 2, but Useless is a cat, has managed to pull a little bit of a lead on Plebs. Donga looks like he's fallen off the back of that train massively. He's going to have to start catching up. He's going to start to be caught up by Zeffy, who just got himself a 3-second time penalty. Did the Prema driver. Oh, as you can see, that's Donga there in the Carlin car. Struggled massively on the exit of turn 7. Dipped his rear wheels into the grass, and it looks like he's trying to force him to land the long way. It is Big Donga, but it looks like he gets the move done. Does Zeffy. Into P8 he goes. See the Carlin driver definitely struggling in the second stint of the Grand Prix. He's going to start to get caught up by our race leader. Sorry, not our race leader. Our pole position man of Geordie. See now, Chain Gamers finally came into the pit lane. Dr. Dre still staying out. Heading on to lap 13, Dr. Dre still leads away. He's still yet to make a pit stop though. So 40 is in the theoretical lead. Leading Gasly 10, who is definitely catching up to the rear of that Viterci car. Flying Jippo is sitting in P4 at the moment for... actually, I'm not even going to try and guess what car that is. Useless is a cat for MP Motorsports, MP5. Leading Plebs for Trident, MP6. Zeffy is MP7 for Prema. MP8 is the Carlin driver of Big Donga. P9 is Geordie F1 leading Armchair Bike, who is rounding out his top 10 for the Arden team. Then it will be BK, MP11. P12 will be Ken Tenmar for Trident. Then it will be the Gabrix for Arden, MP13. P14 will be Chain Game Wow for Campos, who just came out of the pit lane. Banana Josh, MP15. He's a minute down on his time at the moment. So 32 seconds, I should say. And it'll be Tall Cogwheel, who I do believe has been lapped. Now, as you can see, the other Campos driver is now in the pit lane. Dr. Dre coming into the pits. Now it looks like Donga's actually unfortunately spun around again by the looks of it. He just lost a lot of time there. And yeah, I think he has gone into another half spin. Has the Carlin driver, so now he's dropped back behind Geordie and Armchair. And now he's got his teammate BK right behind him, MP11. Okay, Dr. Dre's dropping down a few positions. It looks like he will come out in a little tight battle with BK. He will have enough lead by the looks of it on BK to maintain that position. Now Eustace is the cat and Flying Jippo are going side by side. Heading into turn 4 they go. He runs very deep into the corner though. Does Eustace is a cat. So does Jippo. But it looks like Jippo's managed to hold on to P3 for now. Useless is a cat. Looks like he is a little bit racy at the moment compared to Jippo. Plebs is now going to start to try and catch up to the rear of that train. This is now the battle for P3. We got a bad run out of there, did Jippo. They're heading into the final sector they go. Yellow flag in 6-2. That looks like the Gabrix down in P14. Looks like he's had an incident. I think we're going to go have a quick look at him. It has. It looks like through turn 5 rather. He has had a little incident. Or spun around at the exit of turn 5. Now Gasly 10 and 40, our two race leaders are going to go at it. Gasly has finally caught up to the rear of the Viterci driver of 40. Who's going to be deep under brakes? It looks like 40 is. He's mounted the curb though, as Gasly, they narrowly miss each other. Going through turn 2, they're going to go side by side. Heading into turn 3, it looks like Gasly has now got the better run heading into turn 4. They will go. Will 40 be deep under brakes? It looks like he's unfortunately going to have to back out of that. He's tried to do the under and over. Gasly's going to defend the inside, but it looks like 40's going to try and hang it around the outside though. Doesn't look like he has the grip, but he's going to have a lot of oversteer there. And no, he definitely tried to make a move. Heading into turn 6 and 7 there did 40, but unfortunately he was not able to make the move or get the traction that he needed out of that Viterci car. So now Gasly has moved himself into the lead of the Grand Prix, leading 40-22. Flying Jippo is still sitting in P3 at the moment. He's got Useless Izakat and Plebs is starting to catch up behind them. But on Josh, looks like he's just got ahead of the Gabricks as the Arden driver is now into the pit lane. Yellow flag in sector 3. That's actually the driver that was sitting in P2 and was leading the way for the majority of the race. 40 has now unfortunately had his half spin, where he's actually spun around at the exit of the final corner. I'm not too sure if there was any contact there with Gasly, but anyway, Jippo's now getting put under pressure from Useless Izakat again. They're going to go side by side through turn 1. Jippo defends the inside, I should say. Useless Izakat tried to stick his nose around the outside by the looks of it, and Jippo manages to keep the position for now again. Plebs is still struggling to catch up. Now Dr. Dre and Donga are going to go side by side heading into turn 3, and it looks like Donga's unfortunately pushed Dre out wide. He's done a Magnussen. That's the Carlin driver, but anyway, looks like Dr. Dre will be definitely quicker as he is on the soft compound of tyres, and they are fresher than the set of medium tyres Donga has on. Now BK, Donga's teammate, does have a time penalty of 3 seconds for multiple corner cutting warnings. He's sitting down in P11 at the moment. They're still going at it now. Other two drivers battling it out for P2. Jippo and Useless Izakat are going to go side by side, heading into turn 13, 12 I should say. None of them are giving an inch. We're going to ride on board with Plebs, as he does look like he has the best view of it all. Jippo's now moved himself, or managed to maintain P2 still somehow. Useless Izakat is still massively struggling to get a move done on Jippo, but it looks like he's got the better run out of the final corner. He's going to have DRS as well. Does Useless Izakat? He's going to get squeezed right against the wall. Is Jippo. Is Useless Izakat, and now Jippo goes to the outside, trying to do the under and over on Useless Izakat. He's actually trying to hang it around the outside now. But now Plebs is now trying to get into that little battle pack for P3. And it looks like now Useless Izakat is going to be able to hold on to P2. 3 laps remain in this Grand Prix. Dr. Dre is still going at it with Donga. Will he be able to make a move? Next up will be the sprint race, which the top 8 will be reversed. So it looks like at this stage, if Geordie stays in P8, he will start from pole position. Zephy actually runs really wide there through that turn 10, I do believe that is. And Armchair did actually whack the rear of that Prema, and now they have spun themselves around. Zephy has unfortunately been squeezed by Armchair by the looks of it, and spun around. He's been forced back down to P8. Donga is a little bit too far behind to capitalise on that spin. And now Geordie's going to move up into P7. It definitely looked like there that Armchair did not give enough room to Zephy. Yellow flag in sector 1. That's actually the Gabricks now, who's down in P15. He's unfortunately spun around in the exit of turn 1. He has been lapped. Anyway, the drivers are now heading onto the penultimate lap of the Grand Prix. Gasly 10 leads away. Out of Useless is a Cat in P2. Flying Jippo is in P3. This is the battle for P2 as it stands. Players is still struggling to catch up to that battle pack. Will Jippo make a move heading into the chicane? He thinks about his... Let's Useless is a Cat. No. Betty is still there. Players is still sitting in P4 leading 40 in P5. P6 is Armchair. P7 is Geordie F1 leading Zephy in P8, then Dr. Dre in P9. It was managed to get ahead of Big Donga. BK is going to round out your top 10. Big Donga's unfortunately, I think, had a bit of a incident potentially with Dr. Dre. He was defending very aggressively on Dr. Dre, so they could have potentially made a bit of contact. Chain Game now is unfortunately spun around at the exit of turn 7. Ken Tenma sitting in P30 in the moment. Then it will be Banana Josh, who's unfortunately been lapped in this Grand Prix. Same with the Gabrix and Tool Cogwheel. Actually, Banana Josh has not been lapped, I should say. The Gabrix and Tool Cogwheel have been lapped. Now Gasly is heading onto the final lap of the Grand Prix. Looks like Jippo has unfortunately fallen off a little bit. Here from Useless is a Cat. Zephy and 40 are going at it now. Zephy looks like he's got down the inside as Plesner, the driver in P4, has got a 3-second time penalty. It's going to be the battle for P7 in this Grand Prix. It looks like Zephy will manage to hold on to P7 as 40's falling off a little bit. Could potentially fall into the hands of Dr. Dre if he does make a mistake. But anyway, Gasly's heading through the final or penultimate corner now. He's got no pressure from behind. He's managed to pull out a 9.4 second lead from Useless is a Cat. Through the final corner, Gasly goes and he's going to win the Hungarian Grand Prix for the Spec F1 Esports F2 Sprint Series. He's going to win the feature race here at the Hungaroring for the Hungarian Grand Prix. Useless is a Cat's going to come home P2. Plebs is now going to come home P3. Came home P4 on track, but after time penalties, he's moved himself up onto the podium for the Trident team. Armchair Bike is going to be in P4 for Arden, leading Flying Jippo, who had a few time penalties in the end, which dropped him from P3 to P5. Geordie's going to come home P6, leading 40-22 in P7. Dr. Dre's going to come home P8 in the end. Then it will be Zephy in P9 for the Prema team. Then Big Donga's going to come home for 1 point in P10. I'm going to quickly have a quick look here to see who ended up getting the fastest lap of the Grand Prix. It was Chain Game Wow down in P12, so unfortunately no one will get a point for the fastest lap as he is out of the top 10. BK's going to come home P11 behind his teammate. Then it will be Chain Game Wow in P12. P13 is Ken Tenma. And then it will be Banana Josh, the last driver, who will come down P14, the last driver to finish the race. P15 is going to be the Gabrix. P16 will be Tool Cogwheel, and unfortunately Crossy F1 did not make it to turn 1. So he is going to end up on the DNF list for the Spec F1 Esports feature race of the F2 Sprint Series. Congratulations to all our podium getters here for the feature race. And congratulations to the Dams team for taking out the win. As you can see now, the provisional results here for the feature race. Gasly 10 takes home the win, leading Useless as the Cat for MP2 for MP Motorsports. Then it will be the Trident driver of Plebs. Then it will be the Arden driver of Armchair. Then Flying Jippo is going to come home P5 for ART. Then it will be Geordie MP6 for Sauber. P7 will be the Vitersi driver of 40. P8 will be Dr. Dre. P9 will be Zephy for Prema, and then rounding out the top 10 will be Big Dongo leading his teammate BK, MP11 for the two Carlin drivers, for the Carlin team. Then it will be Chain Game Wow, MP12, P13 is Ken Tenmar, P14 is Banana Josh, P15 is the Gabrix, P16 is Tool Cogwheel. Then rounding out your top 17, who unfortunately did not finish the race, will be Crossy F1. But now we're going to let the drivers now head over to the Spec Esports PS4 F2 Sprint Series Sprint Race. We'll be back with you shortly. As you can see now on your screens, the drivers heading out for the formation lap for the 14-lap sprint race. The drivers have ahead of them. On pole position, it is Dr. Dre for the Campos team, who is going to start on pole position. If you didn't realize as well, it is full wet conditions for the race, and yeah, as Robin just said in the live chat, most likely it will be fully wet for the majority of the race. 40-22 is going to start MP2 for the Vitersi team, leading Geordie F1 for ART. He will start MP3. Actually, no, he's not ART. Sorry about that. I'm trying to think what team that is, but anyway. Flying Jippo will start P4, who looks like, I think he's unfortunately disconnected from the session, so I will invite him in a second. Armchair Bike in P5 for, what's the name? Arden team will start in P5. Then it will be P6 for Plebs. P7. Who's P7? There's no P7. But anyway, P7 will be Gasly 10 for the Dams team. Then it will be P8. Will be Zephy. P9 will be Big Donga. Then rounding out your top 10 will be BKXI. Chain Game Well will be starting P11. P12 will be Ken Tenmar. Banana Josh 13. 14th will be the Gabrix. P15 will be Tool Cogwheel. And rounding out your top 17 will be Crossy F1. I'm just going to quickly, and that's actually Tool Cogwheel, who's unfortunately spun around there. I'm just going to quickly put it to the screen while I invite the Gabrix and Flying Jippo back. Unfortunately, I can't invite him. That's unfortunate. Anyway, as you can see, the drivers are now heading over to the grid, about to be formed up for the sprint race. No pit stop scheduled in this Grand Prix, unless you do unfortunately get front wing damage. Let me know in the live chat your predictions for the Spec F1 Esports PS4 F2 Series sprint race. Waiting for Toll Cogwheel, and unfortunately I think the Gabrix has disconnected from the session. Same as Flying Jippo. Waiting for the light sequence to begin. You can see the drivers are revving up the F2 cars now. 5 red lights ahead of the drivers. And the lights are out. They are underway. It looks like Footy gets a very nice start there, but a lot of oversteer. But so did Dr. Dre as well, starting from pole position. There's actually a massive incident up the back there. It looked like that was Toll Cogwheel. Actually, that was Ken Tenmar, who unfortunately lost the traction off the start line. But now that was actually there. Who was that? That was Gasly 10. Actually, no, that was Big Donga that locked up massively into turn 1. And unfortunately, he's massively drilled Zephy into the first corner. So that forced Zephy to spin around. I think that was Big Donga that unfortunately whacked everyone. It wasn't Ken Tenma, I definitely know that. It actually may have been Cogwheel. It was definitely a blue car, so it was definitely a Dams or the Carlin car. But anyway, 40 now leads the way ahead of Geordie, who started on pole position for our feature race, who unfortunately dropped back down to P8. These E40's massively struggling there with traction, and now they made contact there. Has Geordie F1 and 4022, who was definitely struggling there to get the power down. Has 40, and now he's spun around massively. I think he's dropping positions massively. He's back down to P14. The Vitersi driver is now spun around. His weekend's gone from bad to worse for the Vitersi driver. Geordie may potentially have front wing damage, but now Plebs has moved up into P2 for the start in one lap. Doesn't look like Geordie has any front wing damage visually, but he definitely could. Plebs is right on the rear of Geordie. They do make slight wheel to rear to nose contact. Dr. Dre is now making a move on Banana Josh, heading through the final corner. They go. You see that's Armchair trying to stick his nose down the inside as well. On Banana Josh, they're going to go side by side. And then that's actually, who was that? That was Big Donga. That was unfortunately, no, it wasn't Big Donga. That was actually Geordie now. That is unfortunately spun around. That's a fair way down the straight, so could he have potentially made a bit of contact there with Plebs? He's unfortunately now retired from the session, so that's unfortunate there for Geordie. Drivers are all fighting for sheep stations at the moment. Now Chain Game is still trying to go down the inside of Gassy. He's forced him out wide now. Now Big Donga's moved himself up into P5 after all that. Crossy's now got himself up into P7 briefly, but now Gassy 10's gone back up to P7. BK is right at the back of that train as well. Banana Josh, so not Banana Josh, Zephy is trying to catch up to the rear of that train. Heading on to lap 2 though, Plebs leads the way for the Trident team ahead of Banana Josh for Kramer, who's got Armchair, and now they've actually spun around. Has Armchair, now he's hit it again. Armchair has completely drilled Banana Josh, but he's pushed him back in the right way. And then that's the other Prima driver that has spun around of Zephy. This is a very anticlimactic start to the race. Very entertaining start, I should say. The Plebs leads away still. As I said, Dr. Dre was in P2 leading this man, Banana Josh, who just got forced into a half spin. Could he potentially have a little bit of front wing damage after that little contact there? Wouldn't be surprised in the slightest if he did. Doesn't look like it at this stage. Now Big Dong has moved himself up into P4. He's moved up 6 spots, but Banana Josh has moved up the most. He's moved up 11 spots into P2. 3 I should say. But now Plebs going fastest for Trident. He's got Dr. Dre now, I should say. He's moved himself up into P2 after that little incident Banana Josh had with, who was it? That was Armchair. Now down the back here, as you can see, that's Gassy defending the inside line on Big Donga. They both run really deep though, so could this potentially move Crossy up into P4 here? Big Donga nearly made contact there with Crossy. He's defending the inside line there. Did the Carlin driver, was a bit of a late move. He definitely looks quicker here at this stage, does Crossy. He's basically pushing the Carlin driver. Yellow flag down in Sector 1. That looks like Tool Cogwheel has unfortunately spun around on the exit of Turn 1. Driver's struggling with traction, especially when you're in 3rd and 4th gear. In these F2 cars, it is very easy to lose the rear traction in these cars. Banana Josh still managing to keep with Dr. Dre, heading to the middle sector. They go. Dr. Dre runs a little bit deep into Turn 8. Gassy Town still in P4 now. Big Donga's unfortunately spun around, I think, or he's had a little bit of an incident. Now he's dropped back down behind Crossy into P9 they go. Gassy Town still is leading that little battle pack. He's trying to catch up to that battle of P2. That's just letting Plebs get away. See, that's Gassy 10 still trying to catch up to that rear or that battle for P2. Dr. Dre runs really wide at the exit of the penultimate corner. Banana Josh is going to try and make a move or do the switchback. There is no DRS available to these drivers, as it is wet conditions. Will he be able to make a move into turn 1? Banana Josh are going to go side by side, I do believe. Heading into turn 1. Yes, they do. He's pulled out into the inside line. Does Banana Josh. Will he be able to pull it up? It looks like he has. He's going to move himself up into P2 ahead of Dr. Dre. But now Gassy is right on the rear of that. Will he be able to make a move on Dr. Dre? Doesn't look like it. So now Banana Josh has moved himself up into P2. But now this is the Arden driver and the Campos driver of Chain Game and Armchair. Going at it into turn 2. This is the battle for P6. And it looks like Armchair has moved himself up into P6 for the Arden team. Dropping Chain Game down to P7. But it looks like Armchair got a better run than BK out of that turn 3 there. Tool Cogwheels unfortunately retired from the session. Could we potentially see a safety car? BK definitely seems to be struggling at this stage. Dr. Dre has now been passed by Ghastly 10, who has cut that corner. Turn 7 there to keep it onto the track. Tool Cogwheel unfortunately has retired from the session. We only have 11 runners remaining in this Grand Prix, and now we only have 10, as now Big Donga is unfortunately retired from the session. We're going to ride on board with Ken Tenma to see what's happened to the Carlin driver. Yellow flag in the section as he hit the wall. Looks like he may have, potentially, or is this his car here? It looks like he's just unfortunately retired from the session. Has the Carlin driver, so now we only have 10 drivers remaining. The Gabrix and Flying Jippo unfortunately disconnected from the session. And now that's, as you can see, Gassy trying to make a move on Banana Josh into turn 1. Looks like Gassy ran really deep there, so now Banana Josh is going to get the switchback maneuver done on Gassy. Gassy got pretty decent traction there out of turn 1. It looks like he's going to be deep under brake, so is Banana Josh are going to go side by side. I don't know why we're on this camera angle, but anyway. So now Banana Josh has now had to settle for P3, as now Gassy's moved himself up into P2. It's not something Plebs will want to see, as he knows that Gassy is really quick around the Hungarian ring. 9 laps remain in this Grand Prix. Crossy has now moved ahead of Chain Game for the P7. He's going to have his eyes on BK now, is Crossy. Armchair definitely seems to be holding up this little battle pack here for P5 between Armchair, BK, Crossy, Chain Game, and I think Zephy is a little bit further behind at the moment. We only have 10 runners remaining in this Grand Prix. We're going to run through that order for you now. It is Plebs that leads the way for the Trident team. Plebs leads the way for the Trident team. Head of Ghastly 10, there's actually a yellow flag now. I think that's Chain Game that has unfortunately spun around. Heading through turn 11. So now let's put the Campbell driver back down to P9. But now Ghastly's still sitting in P2 for the Dams team. He goes fastest with a 45.2. Banana Josh has just been passed by Ghastly 10. He's going to be back down in P3 for Prema. P4 will be Dr. Dre 3000 for Campos. P5 will be Armchair for Arden. P6 will be the Carlin driver of BK, leading the Vitersi driver of Crossy, who is now trying to get his nose or his car down the inside of BK, who unfortunately ran a bit wide or bit deep into turn 1. So now he's going to move himself up into P6 is Crossy. So now BK is going to have to go back down to P7. Zephy is in P8 at the moment for Prema. He's starting to get caught now from Chain Game in P9. Then it will be Ken Tenma rounding out your top 10 here for the F2 sprint race. Plebs has actually lost a lot of time there. The last lap I do believe it was around 3.2 seconds between him and Gasly. Gasly's nearly pulled just under a sec, just over, so just under a second I should say, on Plebs on that lap. It's definitely get interesting towards the end of the race between these the Trident and the Dams driver. Crossy's still holding on 2P6 so far. Gasly 10 still going fastest. He's now set a 45 flat. He's definitely catching up to the rear of that Trident car, but I don't think Plebs will give that position up easy, as I think he actually ran a bit too deep there, did Plebs. Into turn 1 he went, and I think it definitely cost him a bit of time there. Blue flags are being shown. I don't know what car that's for though. Everyone seems to be on the lead lap, so conditions don't seem like they're drying up, or I don't think the drivers will make a stop for intermediates. It's a bit too late into the race. Banana Josh has now got a 3-second time penalty down in P3. For the Prema team, Dr. Dre in P4. There's no real battle packs at the moment. I just lied. That's actually Chain Game now. It's right on the rear of Zeffy. Zeffy runs really wide on the exit of turn 4 rather. He's going to try and hang it around the outside. His Chain Game. It doesn't look like he has the traction though. Definitely struggling with rear traction and oversteer in that Campos car. You see this is the gap between our two race leaders of Plebs and Gasly. Gasly's still going fastest. He's now just pulled 0.2 at least of a second out of Plebs that lap, as he's just gone 0.2 faster on his fastest lap. Banana Josh still holding on to P3. Dr. Dre has got 5 seconds he has to make up to catch up to Banana Josh if he wants to get that Campos car onto the podium. Armchair still sitting in P5 at the moment. He's still got his eyes on Dr. Dre's. Now Gasly has got a 3-second time penalty. The driver that is trying to catch up to P1 has now got a 3-second time penalty, and I don't believe Plebs has one as of yet. So at this stage, Gasly's going to have to get past Plebs and also pull out more than 3 seconds of a lead on Plebs to get that win if he wants it, which of course he wants it. BK still sitting in P7 at the moment. Zeffy's still running really wide there. Does Chain Game dive down the inside? He definitely thought about making a move there. Did the Campos driver. Zeffy's still definitely struggling through turn 4. Chain Game just does not seem to have the traction or the rear stability in that Campos car to make a move on that Prema in front of him. Kentema still running a pretty lonely race at the moment, down in P10. That gap is now down to 1.5 seconds between our two race leaders. Be 5 laps remain when the drivers cross the line. Locks the rear. Diff there, did Gasly. You hear the car revving. All the rear tyres locking. Shifted down gears a little bit too quickly. See, Plebs definitely struggling through the corners. I definitely think that's where Gasly is stronger than Plebs at the moment. Agency Armchair's caught up to the rear of Dr. Dre, and he's got a really bad run out of that turn 3 there. Did Dr. Dre, they're going to go side by side heading into turn 4, but it looks like Dr. Dre has managed to hold on to that position. He's cracks right now. Kind of annoying. But still, Chain Game is trying to get back down the inside of Dr. Dre, and it looks like he's got the move done. The Arden driver moves himself up into P4. BK has now got a 3-second time penalty down in P7. Armchair reeled in Dr. Dre. And now it looks like it's Crossy's turn to do that as there's 5 laps remaining in this Grand Prix, including this. Dr. Dre definitely seems to be struggling. Gasly's got that gap down to 1.2 seconds now between him and Plebs. No DRS available to the drivers as it is too wet. There'll be 4 laps remaining in this Grand Prix when they cross the line. He's still going faster now. Is Gasly. He's set a 44.4 in that Dams car. See, Plebs has got no mid-corner speed, as you can see, compared to Gasly. That definitely seems to be where Gasly is catching up to the Trident driver ahead of him. I should say no mid-corner grip, I should say. You can see Plebs is just running really wide everywhere. So will Crossy be able to catch up to Dr. Dre in front of him? Looks like that will be the next closest battle on track after the race lead. Let me know in the comments section or the live chat who you think's going to win the Race Spec F1 Esports PS4 F2 Sprint Series. You can see on your screen now social media for the Race Spec: Twitter, Instagram and Facebook. Twitter is at Race Spec Esports, Instagram at race.spec, and our Facebook is Race Spec F1 Esports. Go chuck us a like and follow, it would be much appreciated as well. That gap's now just over a second between Plebs and Gasly. And he's just got that gap under a second now, has Gasly. Be 3 laps remaining in this Grand Prix. It's definitely going to come down to the wire between these two drivers. He's 4 tenths slower, 5 tenths of it slower. That lap there was Gasly, but he's still definitely catching up. Now Zephy and Chain Game are going side by side. Banana Josh has actually had to come into the pit lane as Chain Game, as his teammate now has just made a move on Chain Game for P8. He's trying to dive back down the inside now, is Chain Game. Will he be able to get that move done? He's stuck his nose in there, but he's going to have the better traction on Banana Josh's teammate Zephy. Then they go side by side going down the straight as they now start their 11th lap of the Grand Prix. Who's going to be deeper on the brakes? It looks like Zephy is, but he's going to try and hang it around the outside. But he will obviously have that inside line, Chain Game, but it looks like he will hold on to that position. Will Chain Game into P7 he goes. So I think Banana Josh unfortunately got a bit of front wing damage there, so he had to come into the pit lane. To be honest, I probably would have chucked on some intermediate tyres, but anyway. Plebs just made a little mistake there. Got onto the curb a bit too much, heading through turn 11. That's only going to edge Gasly even closer. This whole lap, Gasly sat around that 9/10 mark between him and the race leader of Plebs. They're about to start lap 12 now, are our race leaders. Crossy's actually moved himself ahead of Dr. Dre as well for the battle of P4. Not too sure if Crossy will be able to catch up to Chain Game. Sorry, Armchair. I keep getting those two mixed up for some reason. But anyway, the drivers are now heading on to lap 12 of 14 in this Grand Prix. 2 laps remain for the sprint race. Currently, the driver of the day looks like it will be Crossy F1, who has moved up 13 positions in this Grand Prix. He did start last as well, so that's a very good performance there from the Viterci driver of Crossy. BK's now got another 3-second time penalty. I want to quickly check as well to make sure that Plebs does not have any time penalties, because we got to remember as well Gasly does. He doesn't even have a warning yet, does Plebs. BK, I think, just got another 3-second time penalty. Definitely struggling is BK, but now Banana Josh has got ahead of his teammate on that fresh set. Oh, that fresh set of wet tyres. And that's Chain Game trying to get back down the inside of Zephy, and it looks like he will get the move done. They do make side pod contact, or side to side contact. Will Chain Game be able to manage to hold on to that position? They're still making wheel to wheel contact here. Other drivers, none of them are giving an inch. Now Chain Game's gone back up into P8, managed to hold that position as now our leaders are starting the penultimate lap of this Grand Prix. Gasly's actually made a mistake here. I think he's used all his tyre grip, because now he's got 2.5 seconds between him and Plebs. So I think he may have either made a mistake or he's just used up all his tyres. Sorry about that. So definitely the closest battle pack at the moment is Chain Game, wow, and Zephy. As now they're heading into turn 1, it looked like Chain Game definitely mounted that inside curb, but that's not going to give him ideal traction as they head into turn 3. And now Zephy looks like he's managed to hold on or move himself up into P8 behind his teammate. He's going to take home 2 points here for this afternoon's race. I do believe as well that the fast lap is to Gasly. It is. So Gasly will take home 19 points if he manages to stay in P2. He's definitely falling off now. 2 Plebs. He's got that gap out to 3 seconds. Has Plebs. Last lap it was 2. But now he will be starting the final lap of the Grand Prix. Chain Game and Zephy are still going at it. Now Zephy has got back ahead of Chain Game. I think Chain Game tried to make a move, and now Zephy got a lot of oversteer on exit and lost traction massively through turn 9, I do believe that was. He's definitely struggling here. Is Zephy's trying to keep it on track. He's actually got a puncture, had Zephy. So now that's going to move Ken Tenma up into P9. He will take home 2 points. As it stands, that's very unfortunate for Zephy. So now Ken Tenma is going to move up into P9. The drivers are now starting their final lap. Of the Grand Prix, Zephy has had to come into the pit lane to change his tyres, as he did unfortunately get a time penalty. It's not a time penalty, a puncture. In the end, Plebs is now heading into the final sector for the Grand Prix. Through the penultimate corner, Plebs goes for the Trident team. He's led the majority of the laps here for this afternoon's race, Spec F1 Esports F2 Sprint Series. The Trident driver is going to come across the line now, and he's going to win this, the sprint race. I always get it wrong. I always stuff that up. But Plebs is going to win the sprint race here around the Hungarian ring. Gasly 10 is going to come home P2. We're going to see Will Armchair be able to move himself up into P3 after time penalties. No, he's going to have to stay in P3 for the Arden team. Crossy's going to come home P4 for Vitersi ahead of BK and P5. Banana Josh is going to come home P6 by the looks of it, as he's just managed to get ahead of Dr. Dry, who unfortunately just got another, a puncture. But the surprising thing is as well, so did his teammate down in P8. So that's unfortunate, but now Dre was fortunately able to manage to get that P6 back after time penalty. So he's going to come home P6 for Campos. Banana Josh is going to slip into P7. Chain Game looks like he's going to get past at the end with Kentema. This is a bit very lucky from Kentema. Chain Game's going to come home MP9. Both the Camposes look like they just got a puncture at the exact same time there. So I'm not too sure what happened to them. And now Zeffy's going to come through the final sector of the Grand Prix. Through the penultimate corner he goes. And he's unfortunately spun around now as Zeffy. I think he's somewhat rage quit. He does need to cross the line. Doing a little bit of drifting for us. This is Zeffy. Hasn't held the drift though. Gonna reverse it across the line for us. He's gonna try to anyway. And there it is. That has been your Race Spec F1 Esports PS4 Formula 2 Sprint Series. I do apologise for my voice as well. Or my commentating. It's pretty shocking throughout the stream, but anyway. Congratulations to our podium getters for the Hungarian Grand Prix. Gonna have a quick look now at your provisional results for the weekend, or the overall results. As you can see, Plevs, by the looks of it, actually we're gonna swap that over so it adds up. Gasly 10 ended up winning the overall weekend for Dam, so he's going to come home first. He's going to take home a full 39 points here in this Grand Prix ahead of Plebs MP2 for Trident. 9 points separated the Dams and Trident driver. In the end, Arden driver of Armchair is going to come home P3 on 24 points. Geordie's going to come home P4 on 12 points. Then the next two drivers on 8 points will be Dr. Dre and Crossy. But I think because of qualifying position, actually no, because Dr. Dre finished both races, I think he's going to come home MP5 ahead of Crossy. Then it will be P7 of the Virtuoso driver of 40 on the same points as BK MP8. Then it will be Zeffy MP9 and Renegade. Top 10 will be the other Prema driver of Banana Josh. Big Dong is going to come home P11, taking home 1 point. Then it will be Kentema taking home 12 points. Chain Game, Tag, Cogwheel will round out the bottom of the grid. But that has been the Race Spec F1 Esports PS4 F2 Sprint Series. My name is Expert, and I will see you guys next time. Stay tuned as well, as in around, how long will it be? Around 10 minutes we will be starting the Race Spec F1 Esports 2010 Classic Cars Series. So stay tuned on the channel, and I'll see you guys then.
In the sky, gazing far into the night, I raise my hand to the fire, but it's no use, 'cause you can't stop it from shining through.